Hello, everyone. Andrew Rutten, editor-in-chief of TechRaptor. I'm here with Andrew Stretch,
Woo.
and we're here to talk some more Dragon Age Veilguard. This time we're going to be focusing on gameplay and combat with the Mage class. I would recommend, if you haven't checked out, we have the Warrior class up. That's a little simpler, a little earlier on in the gameplay experience. Not to say that Warriors are more simpler, necessarily, just that gameplay portion happened to be. And we'll also have a Rogue video coming up. And I'll have an interview with the creative director, Corinne Bush, on the site, as well as a general overview of a bunch of other systems in Dragon Age Veilguard, because it is a massive game. Humongous. But we're focused on the Mage today. The Mage is the one I was most interested in trying out, because I was like, if we're going to this faster action RPG-like gameplay, how do you do a Mage? Because at this point, really, the only thing we think we've seen is like Hogwarts Legacy, and it's like, well, you're just shooting much spells. Which they did all right with making it faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is different. So, and you'll also see in these early clips of this gameplay, I'm also figuring it out. I'm like, what do I do with this thing? So I'm not perfect at it, but I say let's just jump in and see what's going on. I think I kick us off with some combat right away. That there's a lot going on. You'll see. Yeah. But below, you'll see that little blue bar. That's the mana bar for.
Okay.
That's the resources for mages. That just automatically regens. So
Okay.
part of learning it's going to be like, oh, I got to like time this because I can't. Nothing I do seemingly is going to increase the rate that I get stuff back. So I'm not going to have abilities for a minute.
Okay. And I imagine that, like we were talking about with the loot and the upgrades, there's probably some, classes that will get percentage increases and kind of stuff.
Gotta be. Yeah, I'm sure there's some mana generation builds out there. But so here's that quick thing of seeing what my partners can do, using them. So if you see this, that was a finishing move, so they got staggered enough. So I picked them up through them. So these quick little where I'm just waving the staff and stuff shooting out, that's just your quick light attack. Where it's shooting forward and there's that wave that you see go forward, that's the heavy attack. So it's like a little bit of an AoE.
When it does the beam is the heavy attack?
No, when it's it'll come up again. It shoots out this like wave of energy. Essentially.
Yeah.
That's the heavy attack. So this is just a bunch of light attacks going. Like I said, you could sit up at range, but you can get up in their faces, which I was doing more. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? I keep getting my shit rocked all the time. See, that was the heavy attack that just happened there. Yeah. So here is the Mage. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Here's the Mage class tree, because I don't have much footage of it. Unfortunately, I didn't do as much scrolling around like I did with the Warrior. But what's a cool part about it, you see where it says control at the top, sustain at the bottom left. I think the bottom right might say burst. When this goes away. So it kind of leads you to, if this is the kind of build you want to go to, maybe you want to be going this way. This is the guideline to it. And obviously you have your different specializations, which is going to change so much of how you play.
Yeah.
You can really tailor these to do what you want. But this is just me checking out what build they had me with to begin with. What I had for me. And so yeah, burst down there. Oh, and this is later on another look at the a different build that I had. It was more ice stuff going on. Up here, which freezes them in place. You can move around. So this is Lucanus. Yeah, Lucanus is possessed by a demon, and that's one of your companions, and he can do some stuff for you. So this is an example of his companion ability that you can use. And this is taking place in an ossuary under the ocean. So it's a really cool location that you'll see water all around. Like in the background of some, you'll just see a whale go by. That's the ultimate ability that the Mage has. One of them. Shoots a bunch of beam of stuff. shoot a beam of stuff at people. When I cue that up, see that yellow or that tealish blue bar, that's the like hit him with ranged. Oh, and here's the thing. You see where it says combos with?
Yep.
So I've queued up that debilitate ability with Lucanus. And with Balara, she has an ability. If they get used together, they get a bonus.
Okay.
Which you'll see show up. So I'm like, oh, there you go, because it says it sunders it. So like whatever that little explosion at the end, that's the bonus.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have a range thing where you can hit them with that beam, and that's what deals with that blue bar that you want to get down. Whereas opposed, as I mentioned before, the yellow bar is the heavy attacks. So it's like just little armors to get out of the way so you get to their health. And I kept this in here. So another thing you get on top of all of your equipment is the daggers, which you might remember from that prologue if people watched it, where you're interrupting Solus doing his ritual. This is the dagger he was using. So you then get it, and it gets things like these runes, which will have active abilities. I don't know if all of them have active abilities, but all the ones I saw did. And they'll also have some passive benefit to you. So this will be another little thing that you can queue up to use on top of your own abilities that they do quite a bit, actually. And this is just some extended gameplay. So that's the power of the mage. It can fuck shit up quickly.
Yeah, that was a lot of.
Yeah, but then you're out of mana.
Right.
Here's a good example of the synergies working together. Watch this, how much it messes them up. That's using a combo ability that synergizes together. That's what it does. So, and there's nothing that really says it until I used it. There might be something in the back end, like I didn't spend too much time in a bunch of the menus because they're so dense.
Yeah.
That tells you what abilities might synergize with one another with companions. But I think part of it is just learning it by using them.
Yeah.
And they seem natural. Like this one breaks down the armor or like kind of staggers them, and this one then takes advantage of that. So it seems like does a bunch of burst damage or something. So they kind of make sense together.
Right. Yeah. It's something that, you hope would make sense anyway. And then they've just kind of rewarded that logical thinking by then.
So I think
adding an actual ability there.
Exactly. If you're thinking along the right lines, you'll get there, I think. So yeah, they have that blue teal bar. So that's me taking care of it with that beam. And what sucks with the mage is that slowly uses a little bit of mana, which I learned later. I was like, oh, you bastards. I was like, I don't want to use that. But yeah, the ability, the mage is the one I'm most like. I think it's going to get weird. All the crazy stuff you could do, and that little bubble I keep pulling around me. That's him putting up a block, or me trying to block stuff.
Okay.
I don't think I ever successfully parried something very well with the mage. I was trying. That's why I keep getting my shit handed to me because I was baiting hits. I was trying to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I successfully did it though, because I wanted to see if it did anything. And you see that little down at the bottom next to the mana bar, the like rainbowy thing? That's your ultimate thing filling up.
Okay.
So where you can use your ultimate ability again.
Man, watching this gameplay, it really is like night and day from the last Dragon Age games.
Dude, and this is a little more extended boss fight. So this mission is the one where you're going to save Lucanus and he becomes a companion. And this is the dude that's been like kept him imprisoned essentially, more or less. And so obviously we're taking care of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sent to kill him and then got captured and stuck here. That's his deal. And then he got possessed by a demon. So even he's got that teal bar at the top that you have to deal with first before you get to his stuff, to his health.
Now, because if the blue is, needs to be tackled by ranged, does everyone have a ranged option?
Yep. So like the warrior throws a shield, the rogue's got a bow, and you got a little beam as a mage to shoot out. And I know that there's certain abilities that you have that will do that kind of damage. I cannot remember the name of what they call it. It's got a name. But like certain abilities will be good at, and certain companion abilities. So you're like, oh, well, let me just take care of this real quick.
Yeah.
You'll have that option. Same with the yellow. So the yellow is the heavy like armor is how I kind of thought of it. So we gotta deal with that first. The teal and then the armor. I can't remember if it's this clip or somewhere else. I completely whiff on the fucking ultimate in a second. I think I completely waste it. Not this. Okay, it wasn't here, but that's just the ultimate. Digging into him.
Yeah, I mean the ultimates seem really sufficient, satisfying. Like they look like they are ultimates.
Yeah, cool little bursty moments.
Yeah. I know in other ARPGs you can have like your ultimate attack and it like can feel a bit underwhelming if they don't want to make you too broken. But
they call it ultimate and you're like, oh, that's it. It's like a regular other ability.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention those synergies where like certain abilities like work well together. That also includes your own. So it's not just companion abilities. You could have your own working together, which I think we'll see more with the rogue one. There was one ability that I had that everybody was like, oh yes, we're synergized with that. Like everything seemed to.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like just a good archetype for the rogue to have if they can synergize with everyone.
So that is a boss gameplay. That's his little demon buddy.
Cool.
He's all. So that's the mage. The mage's got so much going on. I think that's just really scratching the surface. Like I had a pretty basic build based on what we'll see in the rogue one with how complicated that build gets with how much stuff is going on. I can't imagine what the mage has going on. Like just because it's so focused on its abilities and like magic in general, right? That's just kind of the fantasy of playing a mage. Dude, it'll be good. Good time. Yeah. Mage is fun. Mage. It was hard for me to be like, I guess I gotta check the rogue out. Like, I guess I should check them all out. But yeah, that's the mage. A little bit more. The next one we're gonna do is the rogue, which is way more complicated. It's much further in the game. If you want to see just a little intro into the combat, a little simpler, go back to the warrior. And of course, we got all the other stuff coming.
Fantastic. Well, we'll catch you guys all in the next video.
Yep.